Hey everybody, this is Sylvester with Sylvester's Fashion Art and Tarot, and today I'm going to do a reading on Alexander McQueen. I just recently did a reading on Sarah Burden because she's leaving the fashion house of Alexander McQueen because she has been with him for at least 26 years from what I read. But then in that reading I wanted to just do him, just him. And with this reading, I want to know what was going on in and around him before he committed suicide. What was in his heart? What was in his mind? What was in his spirit? Now, the papers tell us one thing, but then spirit give us another. And I'm hoping to tap into that to get some insight on him as the person, and just to get more information on him. As a creative person myself, I admire Alexander McQueen. I love the work that he does. He was living the life that I would love to lead, to actually run a fashion company and to have that financial support. At the time, it was Gucci, but then I think Gucci changed into Karen Group. But anyway, I just love his creativity. He does what he wants, how he wants. He called the shots. And although he was going through a lot of personal struggle internally, but he was able to really create some beautiful, amazing collections. My favorite collection of him is the Horn of Plenty. Oh my God, that collection right there just did it for me. I like his other collections that he has done, but that one, the Horn of Plenty, really just set the bar for me. And I just thought, wow, this man is amazing. Because I love that he had all this trash debris in the center of a room, and the models would come out and just walk around it. So that was the runway. And I've seen unusual runways, but I like the simplicity of it, and I love the symbolic meaning behind it. And it was just absolutely amazing. And but he always turned out beautiful collections. And the last one he did before he decided to leave this world was the I think it was called Atlantis something. I can't think of the actual name, but I think it was something Atlantic or Atlantis. And the prints in that collection was absolutely beautiful. With me, I worked in the fashion industry as a textile CAD artist in New York City, and I did that for a few number of years, like at least 12 plus years. And anyway, when I saw those prints, I thought, oh my, those prints are beautiful. They set the bar for me. Like, oh wow, I gotta really get on my creating game, because those prints were just beautiful. I like how you mix the different animal prints and all the different things. And I like how they all mirrored one another. And it, it was, I don't think words can describe that collection. It was just so beautiful. And I love the whole theme, the whole aquatic theme. And it was so beautiful. And just seeing the machines with the cameras, actually just filming the models so they come out, and also everyone around it, everyone in that room. And I think that's the night that Gaga was premiering her Bad Romance single at that time. But anyway, this man is something else. I don't know if he realized how lucky he was to do what he was doing. Some designers don't realize how lucky they are. You know, they really pursued and persevered, but some people are not that lucky. And then those that do get in, I don't think they really appreciate what they're doing, you know, because there are people that will kill to be in that position. to actually do what they love, to do what they love, and that's designing collections. And that's one of my main goals is design collections, my own collection, and have it premiered in either New York or Paris. But anyway, this man got to live his life doing what he loves, but it was all bottled up with all this self-sabotage and insecurities and um, self-defeating issues that was working against him. And then also come to find out from watching the Alexander McQueen movie that he was dealing with AIDS, that he did contact that, and that really sent him through a spiral. So he just wasn't the same after that. And then he realized he had a huge responsibility of actually running a business because you have people working for you now. And he had to learn how to be the boss. And anyway, that being said, so we could just get on into the reading. Oh, I dropped these cards. Just one moment, please. Second. Get that going. All right. Dear Spirit, this is going to be a general reading on Alexander McQueen. Somewhat general, yeah, pretty much general, because I want to know what was going on in and around him before he decided to commit suicide. What was in his heart, what was in his mind, what was going on around him. Spirit, allow me to read Alexander McQueen. Share what you would like for me to know. Allow me to know what you would like for me to share. He is your child, he is your loved one. Please allow him to come through. What was going on in and around Alexander McQueen before he passed on? What was in his heart? What was in his mind? What was his spirit? What was going on in and around Alexander McQueen before he passed on? What was in his heart, his mind, his spirit? Just two more cards, Spirit. What was going in and around Alexander McQueen? Lee Alexander McQueen before he passed on. Share what you would like for me to know. Allow me to know what you would like for me to share. He is your loved one. He is your child. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. What I'm presenting is a 10 card spread, a Celtic cross spread. And I want to mention before I start this reading that anything I say is allegedly. So this is just for entertainment purposes only. And I hope you guys enjoy the reading. All right. First card I get, this represents the person, is the Page of Cups. This represents him. You know, this young man right here just standing tall and strong. This represents birth of new emotions for him. Okay. It seemed like he was in a state of gratitude, in a state of love, importance, and people admiring him, people looking up to him, feeling like he had to live up to a certain standard, taking on a huge responsibility, you know, and yeah, but at the same time, he's very grateful for it, very happy for it. Yeah, because I see him as just being a strong man, very confident, very assured, and people supported him. People liked him. People admired him. People just really appreciate this man and the creativity that he brought into the world. Okay, this represents him as the person. Okay, what crosses him is the 10 of Cups. This is like he had good relationships with people. All right, this is a very happy card, very positive card, and this is representing the situation. All right, that he was in a happy state, and what this card represents a good relationships with people, good connection with others, in a state of bliss, love, happiness, and he was just well supported. You know, again, so I get two positive cards here, and these two came out. So he was in a state of admiration, a state of supported. He was very supported, very much so loved. So this card being a birth of new emotions for him, you know, he was in a state of gratitude and support. Now I know that I keep saying that, but that's what I'm getting with this, along with the 10 of Cups here, a sense of family support, building good relationships with others, and people respecting him highly. Right? What's beneath him, but also representing past influences, is his need and want and desire to achieve. And when he achieved, he fulfilled. All right. This representing in his influence was in his state of mind and being that his urgency to be a success in doing what he loves to do. And this card is a wish fulfilled card. So it's like he set a goal and he went for it. There were obstacles along the way, but he persevered and went through because he had help. So it's like Spirit opened a door for him because he was so determined to be this, doing what he loves to do. And when Spirit see that you want to do this, they're going to really make it happen for you. All right. Especially if you're going way out to make it happen. And whatever that means to you, whatever that means to him, however he made it happen, he did. And when he did, they were there to open those channels, open those doors, bring in the right people to support you. So that's what happened with him. So his wishes were being fulfilled, but also because he was very determined to really make it. And this card right here was representing his past influences, which is him being very determined, which allowed him to have his wishes fulfilled. So that's what this represents. Now, in his past, I get this strong male figure here. This is the emperor. And I get him sitting on his throne. All right. I see him being in charge, him being the leader, him setting the trends, although he didn't follow trends, he did his own thing. You know, he didn't give a fuck about anything else really. He just wanted to create his own world and live his life doing what he loves. So this man is sitting on his throne, feeling very successful, calling all the shots, and just putting his foot down on things that need to be done. Yeah, so that's what I'm getting here. So this is definitely him being assertive, maybe a little demanding-ish, yeah, just feeling like he's in charge, which he is. You know, it's his name on the line, and his collection, and you know, he pretty much just did what he wanted. This is representing the past for him, but I also see it being representing his present, because it's representing his past. Sometimes your past can also be your present too, because those attitudes or situations don't really change too much. So yeah, that's what this card represents. Okay, what crowns him, but also representing future influences? Well, I get here the Ten of Wands. Also, he was a man of action. He was always on the move and on the go, but he took on a heavy burden. All right, he was just loaded with so much responsibility, so much to deal with, and sometimes they could take a toll on a person. And he needed to relax a lot. I think that I see him having stressful moments where he just had to just calm himself down because he was dealing with the media, the press, the people, their opinions, their thoughts, the magazines, the retailers, people buying his clothes. It's like everywhere he looked, every you know, it's like every asshole has an opinion, you know. And he's like, shit. It's like if you don't like it, you just move on to something else, because he wasn't made for everybody. But sometimes he might have taken things a bit too personally, because he had a bit of a sensitive nature about him, very sensitive. I also feel that he was also spiritual too. I don't think he really tapped in too much, because he tapped in it creatively when he built his collections, because it came from an organic source. And I think he linked to that source in a way that helped him build his collections. He might not be aware of his spirituality. I think given time, he would have got there had he met the right people to help support him on that, or yeah, to help him support on that connection of spirituality. I think he was going there, But I will go on and say I don't think he knew exactly what that was or how he was building a collection. He just had these things coming on. I think he was receiving so much download creatively. I don't think he knew how he was doing it, but he was doing it. And I'm here to tell you it was coming from a spiritual place. And I just don't think that he was aware of his spiritual connection. But however, he was dealing with um, um, an overload of so much going on around him, and that he just needed to calm himself down so he can handle things one by one. But I also get that he was delegating to his assistants and to people that worked with him so he could calm down better. So that's what I get here. But in his future, I get so much success. He achieved so much. I mean, that's what this card representing his future. And he was able to do so much. You know, he got great deals. He got, because for what I remember, he worked with, he got it. He was, okay, at the time, there was a time he was working with LVMH. And during that process, he made a deal with Gucci Group. I think that's where Tom Ford came into the picture. And he sold a percentage of Alexander McQueen to them. And when that happened, I think LVMH was very upset. But he was leaving anyway. And he went on and he left LVMH because he was designing for Givenchy at the time. And so anyway, he really just wanted to focus on his own brand. However, he made the partnership with Gucci Group. I think now it's called Karen now, Karen. So which allowed him to, and I think Tom Ford said it best when I saw an interview with him, and he stated that he can do whatever he wanted, but they need something to sell in the store. So he learned how to bridge his creativity and sellability. He gave you something for show on that runway, but he also gave you clothes that were sellable, practical, that you can actually wear out, you know, and based and most of his shows can be really out there, which I enjoy so much because I love a person with creativity, and he was overloaded with creativity. But anyway, he achieved so much, and he celebrated a lot, and the doors just flew open for him, and people just really enjoy what he was doing because he really, really, it's like he took the fashion world by storm. He really did. He really did. Yeah, I admire that. Yeah, that's what I get here. This represents his future. Okay, in his mind at the time, um, he was dealing with conflict, inner turmoil. Um, I'm getting a bit of self-loathing. Um, I think drugs came into the picture, a lot of it. Um, cokehead just popped into my head for some reason. I don't know why cokehead is popping in my head. Cokehead, why is cokehead popping in my head? All right. And I think he was just, again, with the last card, uh, uh, of future influences dealing with a burden of so much. I think he needed, although he delegated things and did things to help calm it down, but I think he also got help from the drugs he was getting. Okay, he was getting drugs to help him. He was trying to calm his inner turmoil down, and he just he just sunk himself into that world. I think he got more depressed. I think he got more really low in his spirit. He had very strong highs and strong lows, but you didn't see the lows so much because he kept to himself a lot. I could see aggressiveness. Sometimes he might have been a little too aggressive with some people he worked with, but that changed over the years. You learn to tone down a little better, um, and not take out things on his employees or people that worked with him. Um, yeah, he was just fighting. He was just fighting so much within himself, which he didn't really need to be. He needed to get some therapy to help him along the way. I don't know if he seeked the therapy, but he really needed the therapy to really help him. Yeah, to really sit down and talk about how he's feeling, what's going on within his mind and spirit. He really needs someone to really talk to. And yeah, I get him being a very proud man. I get a proudness with him, privacy with him. Don't really share too much, only when he wants. Loner, drifter. He did live in a depression state. Um, but he comes out of it. When he has to work, he works. He works because he knows he has people to support, because people are working for him and he has to make sure he delivers. All right. And what I gather from past information that I heard, um, and this is popping in my head, that somehow Sarah, his assistant, helped build most of those collections, although he overlooked it. And yes, he did design it, but also she came in and polished up some things. But the majority was just him. But she polished, refined some things for him. Okay, polished some things a little bit. Yeah, that's what she did. Yeah, she helped take care of him a little bit because she knew what he was going through. She saw the ugly. Mm-hmm. There's a lot she's not sharing. Why should she? She don't have to. You know. Yeah. I get a good respect with them both. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that's what I get with this card. Now, within his environment, this card represents his environment. This is the Ten of Swords. This card to me represents an end, a death, nothing going beyond it. Things are done. It's completed. Nothing is happening. So I'm. This card is telling me that uh, this is representing his death to me. That it's his environment. He's done. He's ended. He moved on to a whole nother playing field, a whole nother dimension. That's what I'm feeling here. Mm. A little tapping going on. I wonder if that's him. It's like sometimes when I do people that pass, sometimes they have a way of communicating by tapping things. I don't know if you guys hear it, but I hear it. So I hope I'm doing the right thing. But I want to convey the right information. I want to do justice by him, and I just share what Spirit would like for me to know. That's it. And what I know, I share. So Spirit is giving me the info. or his spirit is giving it to me. All right. So this card is representing an end, a death, a moving on, a means to just pass on and go on somewhere else. Say done, finished. And I think this also represents, this is what I heard in the papers, but that he committed suicide and he was found in a closet. I think he overdosed on drugs. And I think there was he left a note and something about he's sorry, and he asked if he just take care of his dogs. I think he was also mourning too, because his mother passed on. He was mourning her. He loved his mother very much. Loved her so much. Yeah, he wasn't the only child. He did have brothers and sisters. Yeah. But he really had a profound respect for his mother. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm hearing the word love. 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 I'm hearing that. Love. Love. Hmm. Hmm. It's like I'm getting a glimpse of happy moments with his mother. Most times with this card, it's like, although you have end in this world, but it's like you began in a whole nother dimension. It's like your energy still moves on. Although you're not living in this world, you're living in a whole nother dimension now. You're in some people call it heaven, some people call it the afterlife. I think he's alive and kicking over there, just looking and seeing everything. Oh, I think that's confirmation. Uh-oh, there we go again. You guys hear that, right? It ain't just me. My goodness. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. All right. All right. That's what I'm getting here. And that represented his environment. In his hopes and fears, I get the Two of Swords. And this card deals with decision, indecision, making a choice, not sure what to do, yay or nay, confusion. It's like everything around him was calm and smooth and pretty much at a nice level and pace, which is representing in the past. It's representing in behind this figure here. You see the calm water behind her. There's a very calm, soothing background there. But yet, this person sitting on this little chair here, holding two swords up, it's like you're trying to make a decision, and yet you got this blindfold on, and you're like, what do I do? Yay or nay? What the hell do I do? Choices, decisions. Something like I was saying before, he was dealing with a lot, and he had a hard time making decisions on some things. And I think most of it he delegated to other people to make those decisions because he just wasn't sure about some things. He just wanted it done, pretty much done. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think his mental health, he was struggling mentally. His mental health wasn't the best. Again, he had very strong highs and strong lows. Yeah, he was insecure on a lot of things. Um, he was working through it. We all come into in this world with things we probably haven't dealt with in our past life, whatever the case may be. Um, but he was emotionally, he was internally, he was dealing with a lot of things emotionally. Um, yeah, I think that's where all the indecisions were coming from. He just wasn't sure about a lot of things, insecure about a lot of things, especially personally. I don't think he liked his physical look so much. I'm getting that just popped in my head so much. Popped in my head. He didn't like the way he. I think he's a handsome man. I do. I think he's an attractive dude. Um, but I don't think he liked the way he looked so much. I think he um, liked the. I wouldn't call him pretty boys, but he liked the really strong dudes, the manly guys. Yeah, yeah. But he himself was not a bad looking guy. At least I thought. Um, hmm. But anyway, that's what I'm feeling with this card here. A lot of indecisions, not um, delegating things out, so he don't, so because he wasn't sure about a lot of things. But then there was a lot of worry with it too. Um, maybe some things will work out, maybe they won't. But he needed things to work for him. Um, if all that makes sense. I know I'm just babbling, but I'm just going with what I'm feeling and what's coming in my head, and also based on what this card is telling me too. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling here, and this representing his hopes and fears. Now his outcome. Hmm. I do get the Three of Swords, heartbreak, a necessary bleeding, a necessary cutting, a necessary change. It's almost like this was supposed to happen. I don't even want to say that, but it's like I think it was pretty much time for him to go. I think he just reached a certain level where he was pretty much done. It's like I'm ready to leave. I'm ready to to stop. I mean, he could have retired if he wanted to, but I think he just wanted to just not face the burden of letting people go. Um, what's popping in my head now is an interview where he stated that if he dies, he wants his business to go with him. Yeah, but it's sort of like, but when you sign a deal with another company, they're not so willing to let. They might not follow that. They might not follow your wishes. They might just keep the business going. They just hire another designer, as they did with Sarah Burton. So that's one thing to think about. But yeah, he wanted the business to go. If he goes, he wouldn't want it to move on. He wouldn't want it to live on. Um, he just felt like he had his moment in time, and that was it. But what he didn't realize, maybe he did realize, he impacted the world so creatively. He set the standard for creativity in a way that they'd never seen before. I mean, you had John Galliano, you had other designers that were pushing the norm in fashion, but he had a different spin. He had a different way of designing. I mean, he had a way of connecting with spirit. As I was saying before, he might not know how he was getting his ideas, but basically he was definitely connected spiritually. Um, that's just what I'm getting. But yeah, it's like it was a necessary change that had to take place, and it's like it was time for him to go. The change had to happen, unfortunately, and this was a way out. and he took it. It was like a spiritual contract to fulfilled. It's like what some people don't know. It's like when you're before you come to this, before you're born into this world, you forget everything that you dealt with in that spiritual world. So the contract you might have made, you're not aware of, and in that contract, you might have said something about how you leave this world, and that could have been one of them where he stated, well, he would leave by taking drugs, or the case may be. So anything I say here is allegedly, so don't take anything personally. I'm just going by how I'm feeling here and what I'm sensing. So yeah, it's unfortunate, but that's what it is. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Yeah, he made a huge mark in the world, a huge mark. He influenced so many up and coming designers that want to do what he does. Hmm. They want to do what he was doing. Yeah, he influenced so many. I think he felt that in when he moved on. He saw that. Sometimes people don't realize how strongly they impact who's coming behind him or who's watching him. It's like you know you're being watched, but you don't realize how much of a power or influence that you bring on people, that they just admire you and love you. They love you for your creativity, you know, and some love him for who he is. People that knew him. Hmm. Yeah, that's what I'm getting here, being his outcome. Um, yeah, that's what I get with the cards. Um, anyway, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this reading of Alexander McQueen. Well, Lee Alexander McQueen. Um, he was just a phenomenal talent. I admired the man's work. I admire what he does, what he did when he was alive. It was a big shock to hear that he had passed on. Yeah. And I want to say something, and it's popping in my head, and I was told this from another conversation outside this reading that I just gave, and it just popped in my head now, and I just want to mention it. Anything I say is allegedly, but I was talking to another person who happens to be gifted as well, and they stated that the drugs that he was getting was coming from the uh, the corporation or a Gucci group or whoever the case may be at that time. Um, that they were feeding him that to help him cope through some things. But anyway, anything I say is allegedly. You know, just let it go in one ear and out the other. All right. Um, yeah, I just remember that. So I was it popped in my head for a reason. Um, but anyway, thank you for coming to Sylvester's Fashion Art Tarot. And also, I want to mention I do have an Etsy shop called Sylvester's Fashion Art on Etsy. Please check me out. And I hope you like what you see. And if you do, just you can always buy something. I sell hoodies, hats, shoes, t-shirts, sweatshirts, leggings, Um, I create everything myself from the print work, and then I select the product to have it placed on. Um, it is a print-on-demand shop, and hope you guys check it out. All right. You guys have a good night.